All of us is a group that believes that the current healthcare system and physician routines are too generalized to really adapt to multiple people. This is because there merely isn't enough time to get personalized with each patient in large healthcare institutes, simply due to the large number of patients. However, if you're able to do all the prep work in the background before the patient shows up to the hospital with their injury or ailment, a more personalized routine can be created and tailored for each patient. They plan on gaining a wide amount of participants who will provide their health data and EHRs/EMRs to the group to conduct research on and create plans of treatment for specific diseases or ailment types. The desire to accomplish this has especially spiked now because wearables and electronic records make it easier to track and map patient data, while the general public itself is more interested in monitoring their own health and helping doctors in this treatment. Participants will contribute, as I said before, their electronic data, but they may also be required to help out by giving bodily fluids or potentially their gene sequences in order to create a more personalized treatment for each individual. In order to keep improving, a report that was published in May 2019 from All of Us shows that research data has to keep flowing in from many undeserved, smaller locations as well as large sample sizes across the country in order for the treatment to be really personalized throughout many different types of diseases and ailments.
Hello guys, my name is Joshua Yu, and I'll be discussing the abstract that coincides with the Careful Devices Research Project article. Careful Devices is an informative, yet short paper that offers a rationale and manifesto for domestic healthcare technologies that seek to bridge the gap between personal and lived through personal experiences and the abstracted medical knowledge of a member of the professional healthcare system. In my opinion, I think that the rationale provides insight into what Careful Devices is trying to address. In my opinion, Careful Devices sits in between contemporary trends in self-tracking your own health and the platform that you use to carry out the self-tracking. A manifesto follows the design goals, which articulates the technology that is linked with these trends. At the end of the research project, there is a brief discussion on Ovum. Ovum is an example of a careful fertility tracking device.
So, a couple major trends that are happening right now in technology and healthcare are a huge shift towards in home medical care and patients tracking various health and wellness conditions through different kinds of tracking technologies. And there are a lot of limitations to current at home healthcare technologies, including that not all of them are able to meet the needs of users, a lot of them are visually displeasing or unwelcoming. And also, not all healthcare providers are willing to recognize data that is self-collected by patients. Two challenges in the field of domestic health tracking and reporting include the data gathering and interpreting. So overdiagnosis becomes a concern because trained professionals are not the ones who are gathering and interpreting the data. And then looking at the data itself, at-home medical devices are able to reveal data, but they do not provide a holistic picture. They don't take context into consideration, and as a result, a patient is rarely able to look at that data and make the best decision for their health. So the goal is to create humane devices that reimagine the relationship between domestic life, medical care, and health data, avoiding simplistic numbers and instead creating reflexive devices that exist alongside medical practice rather than just turning the average person into their own doctor.
Ovum is a careful ovulation tracking device for couples seeking to conceive. In previous ways to track fertility, you have to chart the menstrual cycle, test for luteinizing hormone in urine, measuring sharp increases in basal body temperature, or tracking an increase of electrolytes in saliva. Ovum decides to choose the saliva track. Through magnification and illumination of a saliva sample, Ovum can detect a real-time accurate reading of your body's fertility. Their goal is to create a shared private environment rather than previous tests that are individual, since fertility is a dual process. Ovum projects onto the ceiling to create that shared environment, so you can be in a private room with your spouse or whoever you wish. It does not create a direct answer to the question of fertility. It is not black and white, but it gives interpretable information that may be discussed with a healthcare professional.
Self-tracking devices being used more frequently as healthcare devices seems to be the way of the future in terms of receiving healthcare and information. This paper proposes that we seek to develop careful devices that can be used as medical devices and lays out a manifesto containing the main goals that such a device would have to meet. This includes things like having data that shows more than just medical parameters and offering new ways for people to reflect and understand themselves. I think that setting goals contained in the manifesto is a great future-proof approach since it predicts what the careful devices will need to be like instead of basing those goals on the current technological capabilities.